Now, here is a book, and I'm going to talk about the inflation of taxes. Imagine that you're seeing this picture of a man holding a book, and on the book is a picture of a man holding a book, and on that photograph on the book of a man holding a book, in the picture of the book there's a man holding a book, and it's me in every case, and it's the same book, it's the same image, on into infinity. Now that's a little bit how taxes operate. You know, there are taxes in everything. I just discovered by thinking today, I'm a very much given to thinking, that I pay taxes and I pay rates, local body rates. That's local government rates, city rates, in America perhaps, property taxes. Now and people say, oh, we pay taxes on taxes. And so there's a double lot of taxes because we pay 15% goods and services tax on the rates. But I've discovered something else. Because it's not tax deductible, this is not counted as me paying taxes. This comes out of the money that's supposedly available to me. So, you know, the taxes I pay on my income don't allow that as a deduction. So I'm paying triple taxes on the rates. I'm paying a tax on a tax, plus it's not allowed as a deduction. So I'm paying 3 times for the same thing. But it's worse than that, because in everything I purchase and buy, I'm paying in that good or service a proportion of tax that person, man or woman, has to cost into their item, into their goods or service. So I'm paying taxes, my own taxes. It doesn't stop there. I'm paying taxes on taxes, and then I'm paying other people's taxes. You know, it's fair enough that price is a private tax. You know, a price and profit are a private tax for individuals. But I think the distinction between private tax and government taxes is valid, and holds up, and is useful. And on these private taxes, well, at least when we pay our money, we actually receive something. We make a transaction, and it's a very nuanced, specific and detailed, intricate transaction. It's, you know, specifically targeted to the exact, you know, I want a packet of sweets, of peppermints, and I've chosen peppermints, not peppermint chocolate. That kind of differentiation. It's very detailed, extremely detailed on each, and it fits into my day naturally. It's no problem. I see something, I know I have so much money, I pay for it, and it's clear. Whereas with taxes, you know, it's the good is invisible. It's like God, as you could say. That you receive is remote. You may never receive it. You may never require it. You may die before you receive this, but you'll pay as if you're going to live on into it. So you may never ever receive this item. It's not like insurance. Nobody else gets it in lieu of yourself that you care for. It's anonymous. It's coercive. It's got the police, the courts, the army, should we seriously object and go on the streets and so on to these things? I have pled elsewhere that taxes should be voluntary. And then we'd see how popular they really were and what was really being purchased by them. And we know what the result of that would be in the main. But some people would see, no, we do need these things, that we are purchasing a verifiable service. And so it should be. Why should it be of any other kind of transaction than other transactions? But it's this iniquitous and pernicious and vicious aspect of taxes upon taxes upon taxes. You're not only paying your own taxes, but in the little bit of money that remains to you, you're paying other people's taxes built into their price of things. And that seems really, really unfair, since I think now the lower classes in New Zealand are paying approximately 30 or 50%, taxes, and the middle classes are paying approximately 50% taxes, and the upper classes are probably, paying roughly 50% taxes, give or take 5 or 10% either way in various individual cases. It would be hard to avoid these things, but in actual fact they're paying this infinite layering of taxes. So at least another 50% of what remains. So in effect we're paying 75% of our money over in taxes. Now imagine for a moment what the price of things would be if the tax was just 10%, not 50%. Well, there'd just be an almost inconsequential element. At the most there'd be, so in effect you'd be paying 15% tax total. And I think we should return to that. Then you have a society of great vigour, tremendous vigour, where a loaf of bread might be 10 cents or 50 cents or something like that. Or, your rent might be just $50 a week or something. Or your rates would be, a tiny amount of your of your income. Not just in percentage terms, but maybe 0.5% or 0.2 or something. Just really a ridiculously inconsequential amount. Let us return to a world where doctors ran hospitals, for instance. You have a hospital where 20% is expenditure is for the management, 20% for the administration. The people who actually, do what the managers say to do and running the hospital. Then you have 20% of the, like medical staff, actual doctors and actual nurses. And then you have 20% of, like orderlies and nurse aides and cleaners and painters and electricians and so on that fix up things in the hospital. And then 20% to organise the finances and the funding and the payroll and the money side of things in the hospital. Because, forward expenditure, costs, losses, and so on. Then 20% remains for actual patients. So you're getting incredibly inefficient hospitals. And you're getting hospitals built, like smart buildings, so that if the economy does collapse, which I say it will, how can you downgrade the building? How can you use a building that's a smart building, but a very expensive smart building, when you can no longer afford it? You're just using it like a blockhouse. All that wonderful equipment embedded into the walls and so on, attached to things, you simply cannot afford to run it. The electricity bill kills you at a 3 or 10% economy. So We're just running backwards with this taxation inflation. And the sooner we cut and cut and cut and cut and slash and burn right back to as close to the bone of reality as we can get, the better it will be for us in the future. Because we've basically volunteered for a contraceptive population collapse, and that always, always, always leads to an economic collapse, and we must manage it by cut of taxes. And we've got to kill the inflation of taxes, this infinite multiplication of taxes. It is taxes that are evil, and they are killing you financially, and they're killing me financially. And I think it's a crime against universal law. You know, just because the United Nations is blind to it and the International Monetary Fund is blind to it, they have had no successes. All the countries they've interfered with have been destroyed. The politicians haven't got a solution. This is the solution. My name is Phillip O'Sullivan, and one day I will run things, because I'm the only man who's comprehended the holistic view of these things. I will be an advisor to governments, or be, in fact, the 10% government itself, with a staff and so on, of course. Thank you. God bless, and look to a great future.